California's greaseball Gov giving Democrats a masterclass in the art of sucking up. Gavin Newsom vigorously defending President Biden's fitness for office after getting asked if he was responsible to put Joe forward as the Democratic candidate.
What he's done in 3 years has been a masterclass. As a Democrat, what a gift for me to make the case for the leader of our party, Joe Biden. I have great confidence moving forward. So the answer is absolutely all in terms of the next 4 years for Joe Biden. I've seen him up close. I've seen him from far. But here's my point. It's because of his age that he's been so successful.
Oh, there's a spin. And while Newsom tries to reassure America that Joe's brain isn't silly putty, President Biden undermines it by opening his mouth. Who can forget when Abraham Lincoln said this?
He said, and I want to make sure I get the quote exactly right. He said, the better angel, he said, we must address the council and address the better angels of our nature. And we do well to remember what else he said. He said, we're not enemies, but we're friends. It's in the part of the Civil War.
Yeah, forget about the better angels, get the visiting angels. But Congressman Jim Clyburn is dismissing any senile moments like that as just the Joe Biden we all know and love.
If Joe Biden commits a gaffe, a guy who stuttered all of his childhood into his adulthood, and everybody know his stuttering is what caused a lot of his speech impediments. And we know that. It has nothing to do with his brain. He stumbles one time and everybody says he's too old to be president.
Yeah, okay. Jesse, a masterclass in what exactly? Not wandering into traffic?
Yeah. So I think Newsom has three doors he can go into. One door is Trump wins, and then Biden, and then Gavin Newsom runs for the open Democrat primary. Trump loses in 4 years. Gavin runs in an open Democrat primary. Both of those are good scenarios because he won't in 4 years have to face Trump, and he'll be able to dispatch of Kamala pretty sportingly. What he doesn't want to do is get drafted into being the savior of the Democratic Party in case Biden falls on his face. Then he'll have to come in, he'll have to face Trump this year, and he'll have to face Kamala's problems because it'll be a problem. So he has to be a good sport. And sometimes being a good sport, you come across as a little obsequious.
Nice word.
Shining the shoes of the president, because you don't want to do anything that weakens the president or opens yourself up to, yeah, let's play the old switcheroo with the convention. So he's playing the long game. The other surrogate, Clyburn, first they said Joe Biden was like FDR because of his policies. Now they're comparing him because FDR was also in a wheelchair. I don't think that's the road you want to go down.
How convincing was he, Judge?
Well, you know, I still haven't figured out why Gavin Newsom decided he wanted to be the point person for Joe Biden. And I think it's fascinating. You know, there's something in this for him. I mean, obviously, he gets himself in front of the public. But, you know, he actually said he thinks that Biden should debate Trump. So if Biden debates Trump, it's a win-win. It's a win if Biden wins, which I don't know is possible, but let's say Biden wins. It's a win for Newsom. And if Biden loses, then Newsom's up for the job. And so either way, he can say all of these wonderful things about Biden, and he wins. I mean, his eye is on the prize. I mean, he's got such an ego, and he's able to deliver lines that are so untrue, it just blows my mind. And Joe Biden says, you know, he used to be a stutterer. Okay, he used to be a stutterer. What's that got to do with what he just said now? He can't even read the piece of the paper that's in front of him. And, you know, he's done master classes of what he's done. He's raised gas prices are up, food prices are up, fentanyl deaths are up, illegal immigration is up, credit card debt is up. Yeah, that's a master class in how to lose an election.
Yeah, you know, Sandra, Newsom repeats the lie that Biden created jobs, but he doesn't tell you who's getting the jobs, which goes back to the A block. Why are they allowing the system to continue? Compared to 2019, all employment growth went to the foreign-born. That's from the Center for Immigration Studies. I didn't just make it up.
It
Sandra.
also ignores the American worker who's taking on a second or third job just to pay for the sky-high prices and still high inflation. Even though Gavin Newsom's talking about the cooling inflation, prices are still up. The rate of growth is slowing. I revere his records as Gavin Newsom. Cut the tape and play that back to the 9 out of 10 Republican voters in South Carolina who said that they feel like they're holding steady or falling behind. And so if this is a record of, one of the strongest economies ever that Gavin Newsom is touting, people certainly are not feeling this. To Rep. Clyburn on Biden's gaffes because of his stutter, I don't think the stutter led to him mistaking Egypt for Mexico or confusing world leaders with their long-dead predecessors, forgetting the name of Hamas, tripping on the steps up Air Force One. These are the things the American public have seen, and they can differentiate from a stutter.
Harold, in the green room, your honesty was blunt. You said, look, Greg, we showed you with Fetterman that it doesn't matter how significantly unwell our candidate is. We just need him to cross the finish line, even if we have to carry him across. And that's what we're going to do with Jim. And then you hit me, Harold, and it was totally unnecessary.
Oh.
Again, we got to go to the tapes on those. Now, you've been a supporter and indicated on John Fetterman. You might have had it wrong, and you talked about how it's a need not to judge people so quickly. And our prayers, I know they all go out there. I'd say two things. One, Gavin Newsom is an effective advocate for and surrogate for President Biden. He'd be one for anybody. He's smart. He's youthful. He understands the facts in many ways, and he's able to compile and articulate these things that make him, which make him an effective advocate for the president. Think about this. There's been record job growth. You can quarrel over how you want to talk. There's been record investment in the U.S. to be able to innovate more, build more, manufacture more, create things more here at home. Way before, you look at what we were like before COVID, we're in a much better position. This administration is standing up for women and for families who want the freedom to be able to say when their families can start and how they want their families to start and even grow. And finally, the President Trump, I thought he was right. And some of my Democratic friends would say that's not right to say just because the stock market is doing well, that the economy is doing well. Well, the Dow, the S&P, and NASDAQ are all much, much higher than they were before President Biden started office. And in fact, the Dow and the S&P have finished in record territory over the last week and a half.
Not adjusted for inflation, but details.
Okay, well, if you're invested in the market, you are much richer today than you were 3 years ago. Now we can adjust for anything you want, but I can assure you, anyone that is that, and most Americans are because they have 401ks. We've all covered in our networks how your 401ks may be up, but hold on to it because you don't know what's going to happen. The reality is the economy is doing better. And here's the person that does it the best for President Biden. It's Gavin Newsom. Now, I've heard President Trump last night or a few nights ago in South Carolina. Congratulations again to President Trump. He talked about some of his surrogates, Senator Graham and Senator Scott, even Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene. People have every right to have whatever advocate and, for that matter, whatever surrogate they want. And I must tell you, if you rank them all right now, I don't think there's a better surrogate for either candidate than Gavin Newsom.
All right. Well,
Okay.
coming up.
Right now, there's not a better one.
Hunter Biden will just say no to help re-elect Joe.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.